Welcome to the third part of the story. If you haven't watched the first and second parts of the story, please follow the link in the right-hand top corner of the screen to go to it and then return to this video. It will absolutely worth it. Subscribe not to miss next parts and other stories on the channel. This will be a long update, so I decided to split it into two parts for your convenience. This video has the first part of the reunion update. Intrigued? Me too. Let's dive into the story. Update.
The go-between from the law firm texted me at 3 p.m. Sunday to let me know she had the kids securely in the car with their belongings and was on her way to the house. I doubt any text message in history has been as dreaded for anyone as that one was for me. What made it all the more tragic was the fact that weeks before, I would have smiled and anxiously awaited the text. Suddenly a reunion I would have been yearning for was something I dreaded. I had no plans to mention divorce, paternity, or any issues with the kids. As much as I tried to prepare myself, I knew I wasn't in the state of mind to bring any of that up. My goal was for things to go as normally as they could, like the other times they stayed with grandparents while Mari and I were on vacation. That's what I wanted. I knew reality was going to be something completely different and I had little control over any of it. Jessica, the intern from the firm, pulled into the driveway. I watched them pull up from the front bay window. I walked outside and down the steps as the car pulled to a stop. I was smiling as I approached the passenger side of Jessica's car. As soon as I saw Carrie in her car seat beaming a huge smile at me, I started crying. Oh, I was still smiling. You couldn't have knocked that damned smile off of me with a 2x4. I just hoped if I maintained a smile, it might convince the kids and myself everything was okay. Wish I'd had a plan B. As soon as I could get her out of the car seat, Michael was by my side and I grabbed he and Carrie and just hugged them. I told them I missed them. That was really all I could manage to say. I just kept crying. And people can hate me all they want to. God knows I've gotten some hate-filled messages privately and publicly. But it all felt different. It did not feel the same as the day I hugged my children goodbye. I want to say it did, just to get the people who think I'm a loathsome wretch off of my back. Maybe part of the loss I was feeling was over the family unit we all used to know being destroyed. My heart was just flat out broken. Seeing them and knowing she isn't mine just broke my heart all over again. That is what my life has become. Every single damn day it feels like there is a new heartbreak. I learn more of the extremes of Mary's cheating escapades. I discover pain I can't shield the kids from. I am reminded of the past bonds and know they were all founded on lies. I keep backing away from the volcanic epicenter of chaos that started when I caught Mari cheating. But I keep getting blasted with stray boulders of betrayal daily, learning how much I have been deceived. Jessica was a saint helping me get them into the house. I grabbed all of their belongings like a pack mule, and she closed the doors and trunk. As soon as I placed their bags down in the floor, I turned to see Carrie looking up at me. She didn't say anything, she just looked up at me with those eyes like she knew I was the one that needed the hug. I squatted down. She walked into my arms and wrapped her little arms around me as tightly as she knew how. That child broke me. I wanted to be strong. But no kid should hear a parent cry like that. Everyone keeps insisting I do the things that damage them the least. That's great, even logical. But what if everything damages them? What if there is no way to keep the damage from happening? Allowing her to see a source of strength and security destroyed has to be damaging her. How could it not? If I abandoned her, it would destroy her. Yet by staying in her life, I am damaging her as well. A 6-year-old shouldn't have to console a grown damn man, especially for something that isn't her fault. My soul was seething with rage toward Mari at that moment. But the little girl she lied and told me was mine just showed me love the only way she knew how and kept hugging. The indisputable truth of the matter, the epiphany I had at that moment. She and I are both victims. As the adult, I'm supposed to be able to maintain and handle it better. She doesn't even know she's been victimized yet. Just as if she and I were the only survivors of a plane crash, we survived, but it's going to leave scars on our souls. But as the survivors, we need to stick together. We need to be there for each other because we're going through the same damn thing. Yes, very different perspectives. But at that moment I was feeling the loss and yet sparing her much of the pain by taking it upon myself. I have been looking at this as Mari taking my daughter from me. But it is just as true to say Mari took her father from her. The villain in this damn story is Mari. I'm done feeling like I should feel guilt for anything I feel right now. There is no paternity handbook that I'm aware of. Reddit knows how to respond when someone is being cheated on and gives top-notch advice all the way through the divorce. The proper way to react when you find out the daughter you raised was never yours? Get the hell out of here with that. Nobody can tell me how the hell should feel or react. The only analogy I can give is children switched at birth. That's a couple facing that together. They were both deceived. They both get to find out the offspring they were told was their flesh and blood was really the sperm and ovum from another couple. Unless you've endured that or the same thing I am right now, you can't grasp how it feels. After about a half an hour I managed to get my shit together. Jessica left after getting a hug from all three of us. I handed her a small envelope with $500 inside and told her it was for gas. I knew she drives an EV and she knew it wasn't for gas. I carried Carrie around in my arms as Michael showed me some of the things he'd helped make with his grandfather. Carrie just kept her arms around my neck, making sure I knew she'd helped stain some of the wood. I went into my standard, "I don't believe you" game. Michael joined in. That devolved into a tickle session, first for Carrie, then Michael. I cannot convey how wonderful and at the same time heartbreaking it was to hear Carrie's squeals and laughter. Seeing Michael happy and laughing was a joy for my broken soul. Because I knew the future held little to none of what we were at that moment enjoying. They teamed up to wrestle me. I liked seeing them work together even if it was against me. Father or not, by the time she's old enough to date I'll have her able to say no, with feeling. I put on some music. Ever since she was a baby, Carrie has loved music. I have danced with her from the first week she was born up until the previous month. I'm sure I look goofy. I don't care. I have fun, and she loves acting as silly as me. I got Uber Eats to bring takeout for dinner. We aren't Asian but sure as hell eat like it. Michael can throw down some lo mein for a 10-year-old. And for whatever reason Carrie loves crab rangoon. I didn't eat much. My appetite has taken care of any weight loss issues I had. I just enjoyed getting to have dinner with them again. They both had school today. So, I got them bathed, PJ'd and ready for bed. Michael likes to read a book as he is settling down. I gave him a hug, told him I loved him, and I'd see him in the morning. I got Carrie tucked into bed and read her a storybook while pointing out things in the artwork. I had her about ready to nod off and I felt myself welling up with tears. I kissed Carrie on her head and told her I love you, for the first time since finding out. Call me the biggest asshole on the planet. I don't care, but saying it was like allowing myself to admit it. Everything in my life has been a struggle in recent days to figure out what is real and what wasn't real. My love for Carrie is real. I love her. I do feel different. Right or wrong I do. But I love her. I went from not wanting to take anything away from her to continuing to want to give. It's a huge difference. But anyway, I was sort of waiting for Carrie to tell me she loves me. I mean, I know she does, without her saying it. No, she took the moment to tell me, "Mommy loves you." I knew what she said. I made a point not to snap at her and be as sweet as I could possibly be when I asked her, "Carrie, why did you tell me that?" She said Mommy told her. I very sweetly asked if Mommy just said that or if Mommy told her to tell me that. It seemed my soon-to-be ex-wife had to explain why I hadn't been to visit, wouldn't be coming over, and she wouldn't be coming home with them. She actually told the kids her parents' house was her new home, which I was kind of glad of. But the "I love you" BS, I still had to get to the bottom of. I pried some more, then Michael came into the room. He revealed their mom had told them she wouldn't be coming home because I didn't love her anymore. What the hell was I supposed to say to that? Yep, it's all on me, I just fell out of love with your mom. Blame me. Was not happening. I called our usual sitter. I asked if there was any way she could come over for a few hours to look after the kids. Since they were already in bed and that meant she could study while getting paid, she agreed. I got into the car and made a beeline for my in-laws' house. I didn't bother calling first. When I got there, I knocked on the front door and asked to see Mari. Her mom led me to her childhood room where she was recuperating from her injuries. I turned to her mom and placed my hand on the doorknob before telling her Mari and I needed to chat. She sensed I was a little on the pissed off side. So, she scurried out a blast radius. As soon as the door was closed, I asked just who the hell she thought she was trying to pin our split on the fact I could never love her again. She said it was the truth. I told her perhaps, but the reason I could never love her again is the fact she is a lying, deceitful, worthless, promiscuous, lying woman. Way to deflect blame on her little role in everything.
She then said she's already tried to apologize, but I didn't want to hear it. I exploded. I asked her what that apology was going to do. It wasn't going to undo the damage, and it wasn't going to keep the damage from happening. And in spite of all of that, I didn't believe she was truly sorry for what she'd done.
I asked her how she could manipulate two innocent children to make me look like the bad guy if she had any guilt. I asked her at what point I became the bad guy that destroyed our marriage. Without missing a beat, she told me when I didn't give her a second chance. Not going to lie, I stopped her and asked how much pain medication she was taking and if she was drinking alcohol with it. That was the only logical way I could see her thinking a worthless lying tramp deserves a second chance, mercy, to be treated with dignity and respect. Nope, she lost all of that by her own actions. Again, I don't even know who my wife is anymore. It's like she's been possessed by the ghost of Caligula or Charlie Sheen. My beautiful virtuous wife was replaced by a soulless hookup harlot, and it's a miracle of God himself my junk hasn't rotted off due to her disgusting actions. I asked her if she felt justified destroying everything in her life for sex. She said it wasn't just for sex. I reminded her she claimed to want no emotional involvement. She said much of it, especially at first, was about validation. She said she liked being chased. She got pissed when I asked how she could ever consider herself chaste. But she can go get bent. Actions affect how you are perceived the rest of your days. She can deal with it. Mari and I ended up talking several hours. When she went through the depression after having Michael, she even told me I had been the best supportive husband she could have asked for. So, I had to ask, why betray me so cruelly? She said despite such a happy event in our life, there was a part of her so anxiety-ridden she actually wanted to die. She said she felt love in her heart for me and for Michael. But for some reason she couldn't understand she felt depressed and dead inside. She stayed out of work for an additional 6 months due to her issues. I got her the best shrinks and doctor's money could buy. She admits as much, and she said even that started making her feel guilty, feeling she was letting me down. I was carrying us. She said she felt overwhelmed even though she knew she wasn't bearing any of the burden. She said she started to doubt if she ever should have become a mother despite always wanting to be a mom. She withdrew from friends in person and via internet text. She told me every day she loved me and apologized. I told her I had nothing to apologize for, I just wanted her to get better. Maybe she was apologizing for what she was about to do.
This was the first part of This Update. Subscribe to follow up with the story and not miss the next part tomorrow.